Hey everyone, this is the Drunken Fist Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Plavik, and I'm joined by my co-host, David Bordeaux.
Hello, everyone.
Shut up, David. This podcast is made possible by the fans of the show. For more info, visit drunkenfistpodcast.com/fans. All right, David, now you can talk. Don't you have, you had something to say. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I was just saying hi. You said that.
No, stop talking.
I was. What?
Oh, I mean, what? Just kidding.
Fair enough.
I'm kidding. How are you, David?
Whatever. Do you know what episode this is?
This is number 10. It is our 10th episode. We have some special, awesome stuff in store for you guys. I'll tell you what that is later, though. I still want to hear
awesome
how David is doing.
Man, I kind of want to know what. All right. Well,
we got to have one awesome episode out of 10.
Well, I mean, okay. So what am I doing? What did you say?
I was just asking how you're doing. I was being a jerk.
I am doing fairly well. Doing fairly well. Just opened a beer. So I usually do better when I open a beer. Yeah. How about you, man?
I'm doing all right. It's been, It's been a short summer. I just keep thinking about going back to work, and it's driving me crazy. Yeah. But I'm drinking too, so that's cool.
What do you got going on? I mean, I don't care what you got going on. What are you drinking?
Today, I thought for number 10, I would go back to my classic, and I got to give it up for my love of my life.
Drinking Guinness? Oh my gosh! There's a surprise. Yeah. That was probably.
I had to do it. For
was that the surprise you were holding for all of us?
Oh no, there's more surprises. That'll come later.
Good. Guinness. All right. Well, I'm drinking.
What about you?
Don't worry, I'll tell you anyway. I'm drinking.
I wasn't going to ask, but then I'm like, I'll ask. All right. Sorry.
Yeah,
David, what are you drinking?
See, I waited. I paused for that. Yeah, fucking knew it. Brewdog. I'm drinking Brewdog. I went back to the, Cocoa Psycho, the freaking 10% alcohol Imperial Russian Stout by Brewdog.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really digging Brewdog, and I think I said this in an episode. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did it before. But Brewdog is from Scotland. They happen to have a brewery here in Ohio. So
and it's a father-son, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a family thing. I think it's father-son, but definitely a family thing. So technically, I am drinking an Ohio brewed beer. At the same time, it is not born in Ohio. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking. It's really nice because it has some coffee flavor to it, like a little bit of coffee, a little bit of chocolate, and it's a stout, and I love stouts, so I'm doing pretty good.
Did you purposely get the 10% alcohol for the 10th episode, or did that just magically happen?
Yeah. That was exactly why I chose this one. How did you know?
I think I'm more excited about the 10th episode than you are.
No, that was just very much a coincidence. I wish I would have been quicker on the uptake when I was reading it and reading the percentage, and I could have played it in, but that's me. So no, like seriously, what are we doing for the 10th episode? Because you're all geeked out about it.
I am. Now, it's not exciting, but this is the first part of it. This comes in parts, so be ready. Ooh. The first part of it is, if any time we make each other laugh during this episode, you have to take a drink.
No.
Yes. And not like a sip. I mean a gulp.
Dude.
Yeah, that's your fault for picking the 10%. This is on you, not me. You know the rules.
Oh shit! I just laughed. Fuck.
Oh, awesome. All right, already starting out. So David will be slurring his words in about 5 minutes, so be ready for that. While I'm on Guinness, a nice, probably around 5% beer.
Is it 5%? I know it's not much.
I don't know. It's around 5. It's probably like 4. Probably like 4%. I don't know. I'll look it up later. Not right now.
All right.
Shut up. You love it.
I mean, not really, but...
I had this awesome idea for our 10th episode. So besides the drinking game that we're going to add today, I thought it would be nice if...
Wait, is the drinking game just if either one of us laughs?
No, you have to make the other person laugh.
Oh.
So if you make me laugh, I'll drink. If I make you laugh, you'll drink.
So that is completely unfair.
That is not true. If you go back and a lot of episodes, I chuckle all the time, and it probably sounds like a squealing pig.
Yeah, well,
There's
got to be something else. There's got to be something else. Anyway, go ahead, and I'll adapt or modify the rules as I need to. Please continue.
Oh no, you're just gonna drink when you laugh, motherfucker. Anyway, there it is. Drink. See? I'm really good at this, so that's why we're doing that. Awesome. Anyway, finally the reveal, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be giving you. We're going to equal 10 most funniest things that have happened to us in martial arts. David is going to give you 5. I'm going to give you 5. I will ask you though, do you want to do 1 each? Do you want to do all 5 each and then the other do 5 each? What do you want to do?
Let's trade off back and forth.
I like that idea too.
And I'm adjusting the rules. Every time one of us finishes our stories, we have to drink.
You're trying to get drunk. Got it.
God damn it. Fuck. Shit.
There's another one. All right. Hold on. Ooh, we should tally this. That was 4, I believe. I'm going to go with 4.
We're not tallying anything.
Oh, I'm going to tally how many times I get you to laugh because you always say I'm not funny, and yet I get you to giggle.
Well, I mean, it's like when something happens and you just have to chuckle because if not, something bad is going to happen. That's more of what my
damn it.
Drink. Yeah.
I got this. Hold on.
I don't know how that one happened, but yeah.
All right. We are 1-4, by the way. I'll periodically say our score. All right. Anyway, sorry, I was jotting it down. I actually do want to go first.
I was going to say I was trying not to laugh, so
that too. Yeah, don't laugh yet. You already are probably 3 shits to win with that one.
Oh man.
I will go first. I will say one of the funniest things that ever happened to me in martial arts. So while I take a quick sip of this beautiful Guinness, just because I haven't drank in a while and I'm thirsty because David isn't funny. I'm just kidding. I just want to see if you'd laugh on that one. You are funny.
Well, not laughing.
But I was trying to get you to laugh, so that was my bad.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen.
All right. Right now. We'll see.
Not at all. Ever.
I'm going to... A lot of this is slapstick. It is definitely things that I have found funny. If you don't find it funny, let me know in the comments. If you find it hilarious, still let me know. But one of the top 5 funniest things to happen to me is I was helping a friend with a demonstration. By the way, this is the same friend where I'm on a hidden YouTube quick video clip of being kicked in the face.
Oh, that was just the other episode ago. Video right. Martial arts or whatever. Okay.
Now, thank goodness this one isn't on video, but same type of stuff. He begged me to help him with this demonstration. And I'm like, dude, I don't know Taekwondo. What do you want me to do? And he's like, you just have to hold this board. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. That's easy. I'm holding the board in your typical fashion so that he can, I would assume, break it. I think he's on maybe 2 at this point in the demonstration. He overshot it by a lot and broke through the board and ended up punching me in the neck.
What?
Now, because I'm holding on to pieces of wood, there was not even a remote chance of blocking. So I got the full force of a punch to the throat. Yes, it was dampened by breaking some wood, but I still felt my Adam's apple crumble into the back of my throat.
All right, you know what? This drinking game is not funny as hell because me trying to suppress laughing is not cool. And it totally, no, fuck this game. But I'm going to take a drink because I silently laughed. But
I know. Don't try not to laugh. That's not the point.
No, because...
That's not the point. It's not the don't laugh drinking game. It's when you laugh, drink.
But
it's an homage to appreciate it, okay? But no, seriously, this was ridiculous because I didn't even want to do this in the first place. I didn't want anything to do with Taekwondo back then, and I still kind of don't now. I'm not going to lie. And to help me go out of my way and then get punched in the throat, that is fucking ridiculous. Now, is it funny now? Yes. Was it then? No, because I cried.
God damn it. Good.
It's like getting hit. Many of you may know if you get hit in the nose, you involuntarily cry.
Yeah.
But when you get punched in the throat and it hurts a lot, you still cry.
Well, hey, you made yourself laugh. You made yourself laugh. Good. All right. Well, that was the end of your story. Yeah. So we all drink.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Well, we all drink. Yeah.
I'm got it. I got it.
All right. Let me see a funny story. Funny thing.
Yeah, what you got?
All right. So this happened when I was teaching a kindergarten class. And at the time, I felt really bad. However, now it's kind of funny. But there's a game that I call the Frozen game. Many people have played a wide variety of variations of this, but essentially at any time during class, if I yell freeze, I'll yell freeze. You're frozen in a block of ice. You cannot move. You cannot make a sound. You can blink and you can breathe. And then I go, and everybody's supposed to freeze in place in whatever position they were in. And I walk around and I'll maybe try to get people to move. I'll say things to them. I'll do silly things. I'll make farting noises. I'll pretend to pick their nose and eat their boogers and stuff like that. And I do this for all of my grades, including my 8th graders. My 6th, 7th, and 8th graders hate the Frozen game, mostly because one, some of them enjoy the whole idea of freezing, but then the other part is when this bald martial arts guy comes up and tries to make them laugh, they think it's dumb. Anyway, during this kindergarten class, I yelled freeze and I went through my routine and the kids already know what to do. And there was this one girl. She comes from a military family, a really awesome family. I had almost all of her siblings except for her younger sister, who obviously was younger than kindergarten. But at that time it was 2. But anyway, I yelled freeze. The reason why I mentioned about the military thing is that she is very much you do as you're told kind of people. I mean, all of her siblings are like this. And so I yelled freeze. She froze. And I'm going around and making people laugh and they have to sit down and, making them move and they sit down. And I hear out of the corner, off to my left, I hear someone go, "Uh-oh, sensei." And I turn and I look and here's this girl. She's perfectly frozen. She's peeing. Urine is Urine is just running down her leg, puddling on my mat. And I'm like, what? Now, because it was her, I knew that she's in the mindset that if you're told to freeze, no matter what, you freeze. And so, I mean, that's part of the family kind of thing and conditioning. But at the same time, it is also the idea that she is very competitive. Of course, a little kindergarten bladder and that doesn't know the difference between family and competitiveness or whatever. But yeah, so there she was peeing. And I told her to go to the bathroom, go ahead and go. She would not move. I had to give the magic word of unfreeze before she did. And as soon as I said unfreeze, she quickly ran to the bathroom. And yeah, so I had to take care of that. But
That's your fucking next Bruce Lee right there.
Dude, that entire family is freaking awesome. I'm sad because this last school year, like halfway through, they moved out of district. Well, I mean, technically, since we're a charter school, we're not out of district. As long as you're in the state of Ohio, you can live 3 hours away. But they move further away than what they can logistically get all of the kids there, and they have like a lot of kids. So, yeah, I was pretty sad at the end of this past school year that they won't be coming back. But yeah, all of them are awesome. Like the oldest sibling, I took her to, we have these they're inter-school tournaments, martial arts tournaments, because the charter school that I'm a part of, that I teach for, have like 12 different schools within the state of Ohio. And 3 times within the school year, we get together, 2 times for regular tournaments. And then the third one is our state championships. And I brought the older one with me to be my right hand person. So when it was the younger students doing the tournament, pretty much anything that I said, she did immediately. She jumped on it, and she had it. Like I told her, I'm like, hey, if I say this, you do it. But if I tell you to tell them to do something, you do it. And she was right on top of it. So, I mean, yeah, the kindergartner, definitely would be a great martial artist. And fortunately I had her again this year, which, you know, she was in first grade, but, yeah, that entire family is awesome. So I'm kind of sad that they are no longer with our school, but I still keep in contact with them. But yeah,
I'm laughing at how badass she is. Like, she refused to move. She would
not move until I gave the special word. She would not. And the moment I gave it, she ran to the bathroom. And of course, you know, we had to get the janitor in and had to get her teacher to get her change her clothes and everything like that. She would not move. But like at the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Come on, you know, if you have to go. But yeah, no, she peed herself, and it was like, nope, this is what I'm doing. You told me to freeze, I'm frozen. And I'm like, damn. So yeah.
Right on. I'm going to drink twice because I did chuckle on that. All right. And now it's the next round.
Yep, you get to go, man. What's another one of your favorite, funniest moments in martial arts?
All right, round 3. I'm going to save that one. I kind of want to build this order. All right, here's one that still top 5, but not as cool as what the last ones are going to be. Now, this once again involves me getting hurt. Son of a bitch.
Yes.
Damn it. This one really got me. Now, I did judo for a little over a year. And there was another martial arts practitioner at the gym, and it was his turn to do a move called Uchimata. It basically involves your back is at the person, and, you know, you have their arms, and you use your leg to go in between their legs and kind of kick up the thigh, and they kind of roll over you like a wheel. For those of you that aren't familiar with judo moves. The man was huge. Like, he was definitely over 6 foot, and he definitely had some weight to him. And he was trying this move, and bless him, because I don't know how much judo he did, but his skill set was karate. And I will never forget it. The one day I forget to wear my cup. This guy practiced this move on me. And it's a line.
God damn it.
I know. Isn't it awesome?
Keep going.
So it's a line drill where he has to stand there in front of the mats, the big crash ones, and people just keep walking up to him, and he keeps doing the move, and people will eventually switch out that role. But it was my turn, and he did it fucking fine with everyone else. And I'm up here, this little guy, like, yay, my turn. Go ahead, throw me. Boom. He misses my thigh completely, drives his entire body weight. His leg goes right into my balls. I go down for the count, and I am on the ground I can't move. I am stunned. I feel like my balls are in my throat.
Nice.
And everybody's rushing around me and trying to do like, the cross your legs and kind of jumpstart your system by picking you up. And I'm like, get away from me. Don't touch me at all. Like, I can't even breathe right now.
Right.
And I think the funniest part about it was I just gave him a look like, what the hell? And he just gives me a smirk like, too bad.
I mean, you should have wore your cup, man.
Yep. And I know that was mostly my fault, but like, I don't know how you get the move flawlessly on everybody else. And then you get to me and are like, you know what? I'm going to slack off this turn.
I have a story. I have a story relating something like that, but I'll save that for later. But right now I'm going to take a drink since you just told the story.
Yep. I already took mine. We are on, by the way, I kind of lost tally a little bit. I'm just guessing. Gosh. David's around 7. I'm around 5, and we are on story 4.
All right. Well, here, this one, All right. So this one, I had 2 students sparring, and they were like either the same rank or one slightly above the other, blah, blah, blah. But they were in the middle of sparring, and my one student did this spin hook kick. And I don't teach spinning hook kicks. I do teach hook kicks, but I don't teach spinning hook kicks. But student A did a spinning hook kick and completely missed his opponent. And in that fraction of time, student B, the one who was supposed to have been kicked, looked over at me or in my general direction and had like this amused look like, what was that? And I shrugged my shoulders, hands up. Within that time, student A was still spinning around. He dropped his body down and did a leg sweep, knocking student B on his ass, and he let out this yelp. And it was drink. It was like
you the fucking slept a leg from Karate Kid.
Yeah, it was crazy because student A was up and he did like this hook kick, and it looked like it was going to be awesome. Like very obviously missed the dude, and he continued to spin around, got down, and then did a leg sweep of the student. And it was funny because like as soon as he missed, student B looked over and kind of gave like this amused look like, what was that? And I gave like the shoulder shrug. And within that time, next thing you know, student B's legs were out from underneath him, fell on his ass, and he let out this yelp like a dog just got kicked or something. And that was great. And I talked to student A afterwards. I'm like, did you plan that? And he's like, no, I thought I was going to hit him, but I just kept spinning. So I went down. So the apparently the leg sweep wasn't even planned. He just kind of went down and kept spinning and then knocked student B on his ass. So that definitely is up there in one of the funniest moments that I've experienced, specifically with my students. Now, that one wasn't with me, but I promise my next one will definitely be with me. And for that,
that's okay. That wasn't the stipulation, and that's actually a pretty fucking awesome story.
It was funny because even I was like, I don't know. And next thing you know, and it looked like he totally intended to do that. He went down, his hands kind of were on the ground, and his leg was out and he was spinning, and it looked great. And it was the funniest damn thing because, it was like the exchange of like where the student B was like, what was that? And I'm like, and the other guy went around, boom, knocked the guy out on his ass. And like student B was like, ow. It was the craziest fucking yelp. I can't even do it, but it reminded me of a damn dog who got kicked. But anyway, so
that's pretty much what happened.
Oh my God, it was great. So that was pretty damn fun. Damn. And I'm going to take a drink to that.
Yep. Drink.
All right.
I'm going to save How I Met My Wife for last because I think that one's going to be the best one.
Oh, okay.
But
taking it in a weird direction there. Fair enough.
Yo, it's great. Don't worry. And it still has to do with martial arts 100%. The Taco Bell guy story. This one's one of my favorites. I don't think it's top one. That's why
you even have a title for it. It must be good.
No, this was the only one with a title. The Taco Bell guy story is said amongst my college friends. Every so often they'll bring this up and I'm always just like, fucking stop talking about it. But at the same time, I'm like, actually, no, that's pretty cool. The guy, I had a very long night of drinking. I think I was arguing with, yeah, I know, right? Because there's not a theme there. This was in college. We're going to the bars. We're hanging out. I think that very same night I had a tiff with my ex-girlfriend who it was a long distance relationship. So it's already pissing me off. But I'm after a great long night of drinking, the usually tradition is to go to Taco Bell and, gorge so that you can kind of sober up a little bit and go pass out.
Right.
We train along into Taco Bell. We're just standing there minding our own business in like an 8-hour long line because all of the colleges has to go to Taco Bell at the same time, apparently.
Oh my gosh. And in Bowling Green, at the time, there was only one Taco Bell. There's two now.
Just one, yeah.
Yeah, there's one on Wooster, and it was the shittiest fucking Taco Bell ever. They always got the damn orders wrong. And pretty much they can do it because it was the only Taco Bell there. But now they have another one on South Main Street. So it's pretty good. But yeah, everybody went to Taco Goddamn Bell.
Oh, yeah. That's just what you did. And one, I will gross a lot of people out, but I'll eat that shit sober. I love Taco Bell.
Right on.
But the drink, by the way.
Fuck, son of a bitch.
Damn it. Fucker. Okay. So while I'm waiting in line, just minding my own business, just waiting for this Cedar Point line to end, basically, I feel a very, very strong pain in my back. Someone has punched me, what I'm guessing as hard as they could, in my back.
What?
Yes. And I said the same thing. I instantly swing around to whoever the fuck is behind me. I didn't know at the time, but I realized I had to look straight up in the air. That's how close I was to this very tall guy.
Damn it, I got a drink. Fuck.
Yes, you do. I looked him straight in the eye, turn around in an instant, and said, "Did you just hit me, motherfucker?" And
God damn, I hate this game.
He looks at me with both hands in the air. And by the way, this is not a man that needs to back down from my little 5'7" ass. And that weighs a buck, whatever. I'm not going to even say.
You're not 5'7". I'm 5'7". You're shorter than I am.
5'7". No, I'm not.
5'7". I will post a motherfucking photo of us standing next to each other. God damn it.
Dude, I lose at least 3 inches from how bad I slouch.
Oh my gosh.
But this guy, like, there's no right for him at all to back down to this. Like, he could have easily just jacked me in the face and that would have been the day. But he must have had all the humble bones in his body, or I caught him so fucking off guard where he was like, what the hell's going on? Like, that was a cool moment in my life. I got someone over 6 foot just to back down right away, only to find out it was my friend's little sister who jacked me as hard as she could and walked by. So as she hits me in the back, she wants me to fight this guy. And the guy, thankfully, 100% was so cool and humble. Just put his hands in the air. He's like, dude, it wasn't me, I swear. Because he could have easily just wrecked my life. He could have just knocked me right out. So that was mine. I'm going to take a drink because it is round. Are we on 6?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're 6. Go ahead.
Oh man. All right. Well, because you were talking about balls and getting kicked in the balls earlier, or swept in the balls, if you will.
Who doesn't like balls?
I don't know, but in my school, in the charter school, we're not allowed to instructors are not allowed to spar or do something similar like sparring with our students. And that was very foreign to me. And I do understand. I mean, the school is looking out for liability purposes, but like in what I call regular martial arts schools, or whatever, it's nothing for an instructor to apply a technique, or, if you happen to be sparring, to do some light sparring or hard sparring, depending on the person. Well, anyway, this particular day, I decided that I was going to work with a student. He just was not understanding the subject. I definitely know the difference when my students are just screwing around and not getting it, or just can't. And this student just couldn't. So I say, all right, this is it. We're going to spar. I'm not going to strike you at all. You can strike me as much as you want. And do what you got to do. I'm going to show you how we do the technique that we're doing. And the technique had to deal with a kind of, I guess like the best thing would be like if you refer to like in boxing, a slip, and then you engage in a throw. Now, obviously, you don't have throws in boxing, but so, we were kind of squaring off. Again, I wasn't going to strike him at all, but what I was going to do is I was going to slip when the opportunity provided itself, and then gently put the person on the ground. I wasn't going to throw, but I was going to show how the technique came together. So, and he said, you want to put any equipment on? I'm like, no. And he's like, what? All right, cool. Because at our school, again, for liability reasons, everybody has to wear sparring gear, even though some of the sparring gear technically doesn't reduce injury to the person, but whatever. That's what insurance says. So that's what they do. But, and so he was excited. He didn't care about the technique. He didn't care about whatever. He just wanted to, show to everybody, look, I got sensei. I whatever. And so, right. So we're in there and he's throwing punches and I'm dodging them. I'm kind of slapping them out of the air like they're nothing. And he throws some kicks and they were nothing. I slide out of the way. I quickly trap some of the kicks. I didn't trap longer only because the way that we do martial arts in this particular school and for all the schools, there is tournament training, or there's tournaments that we do for sparring and you can't trap. But anyway, point being, and I guess we can't throw either. So I don't know why I only quickly trap. But I quickly trap to kind of like, see, I got it. And I let it go and no big deal and throwing punches. And he's getting mad. He's getting pissed because I'm not wearing any gear. I told him he can hit me however he wants to, however he needs to. And so he's trying. He throws a punch. I blocked that punch. I put up my right arm into a Jodan Barai, and which is an upper block. And technically it's an upper reception, but anyway, he throws a punch. I throw that Jodan Barai. I was proud of him because he saw an opportunity to kick. The thing is, though, he meant to kick my waist, but he couldn't get his legs to move quite the way he needed to before I moved. And I moved in front of him. So he went and he took his leg and he goalposted me right between my legs, hit my nuts. And all I know is a flash of white flashed before my eyes. And his eyes got huge, like, oh shit, I just kicked Sensei in the nuts. And then you can see the excitement, like, oh shit, I just kicked Sensei in the nuts. When I saw that in him, I stepped to the side and I applied the throw. And, you know, like I gently laid him on the ground and everybody's like, what? Because like when they saw the go post kick, they were like, oh, but I didn't allow it to faze me. And I went and I used his stall for the opportunity to do the throw. And of course, the entire idea of teaching the technique was completely lost at that point because half the students are like, how the hell? I mean, and they weren't saying this, but this is totally what they're thinking. How the hell does he have balls of steel? And others like, what? He's like crazy. Like you could just kick him anywhere and he'll keep going. And everybody was just so amazed. I mean, dude, he hit me hard. Because like he was definitely trying for a different kick, but I moved in. That was like by no fault of his. At the same time, if I was in his shoes, I would have been like, okay, well, this is what's happening. Pow, and hit even harder. But you know, and I don't wear a cup while I'm teaching at the charter school. So yeah, it was full on in my throat, white flash of light. And even I was like, oh my God.
See, I can't laugh at ball stuff because like I just,
oh man, dude,
cringe.
It was hard, but there was something in that split second that like, cause I saw like the, oh shit look in his eyes. And then I saw the, oh shit look like, yeah, I just nailed this mother. And yeah. So then I'm like, oh, opportunity. And of course I did what I could to explain afterwards, you know, like after everybody settled down, I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And because of this, they didn't care. Cause like they were happy that the student kicked me in the nuts. And then half of them were like, oh my gosh, you can kick him in his nuts and he doesn't faze him. But yeah, so that was funny because not only was he excited that I swept him, but you know, he kicked me in the nuts and he was like, what? And I'll tell you, I had a very hard time teaching the rest of the classes after that one because I couldn't really walk that well. And my first graders are like, what's going on? Did you hurt yourself?
And later that day, David's nuts fell from his throat.
Gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. So that was my ball. One of my funniest moment ball stories. So I'm going to drink.
I mean, that's a good ball.
Oh my gosh.
But the ball ones for me, like I said, I just cringe now. After that happened to me, like the ball stuff, even on movies, I'm like, oh God, no.
You guys try that. Anyway. I mean, in addition to your iron palm, you have to condition iron crotch. Just saying.
Yeah,
that was not my secret. It just happened to be I was more interested in finding that opening than crippling over. But yeah, it was definitely a field goal post, man. Kick. It was.
Yeah. I'm not going to comment on iron balls, but all right, my turn. I got 2 more left, I believe.
Crazy.
Now I don't find this funny
as well.
That's so weird that's how math works. The next one, though, I don't find funny, but my wife.
How is it the funniest moment?
It's for my wife because she loves it.
Okay.
I just politically have to say I don't find it funny. But honestly, It's a little funny.
Damn it, you made me chuckle. How the hell does that work? All right, hold on.
I know. It's because my wife is funny. She's the one that makes the jokes. But here's the deal. Ever since meeting my wife, and I will save how I met my wife and for the end, but ever since meeting my wife, I have punched her due to martial arts training in the head at least.
God damn exactly. It. Fuck, see? Son of a bitch.
Now, see, I want to laugh, but I don't think I should. Aw, damn it.
Yeah, drink, man, drink.
I am. The idea here is, well, there was one time we were just practicing some judo and stuff, and I'm like, you know, I haven't done it for a long time, and I'm like, yeah, I used to do judo, and she's like, I used to do judo. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And we did some grip fighting, and my hand completely scraped past her gi and just uppercutted her.
What? See,
yeah,
I guess that was a chuckle, son of a bitch.
Well, we don't have to count a chuckle though.
I do.
You got a 10% alcohol beer. I'm just trying to help you out.
And it's almost empty. Like I don't know that I can make it for the rest of this show.
Yeah, that's my favorite one because I'm like, I looked at her like, I no longer have a girlfriend anymore. And she just started laughing and cracking up. And I'm like, I'm so glad you think this is funny that I just punched you in the head, but I'll
damn it.
I'll run with it.
Damn it, Karen. Why did you think that this one was funny? Well, all right, hold on.
Because it is, but again, I'm choosing not to laugh for anyone out there that is overly
I can't wait till Karen listens to this, so that way, even though you don't think it's funny,
she's gonna crack
she'll
up.
think it's the funniest damn thing that you punched her in her head.
Literally, she asked me to do this. So people who think I'm horrible and beat my wife or
Just
something,
know that he is horrible and his wife likes it.
I am horrible. She does. Oh, damn it.
Yeah. I like this game now. Only when you laugh, though.
Yeah, I know. The other time, just simple, like same kind of deal, like just grappling or just practicing some Wing Chun or something, and it slips and just jacks. Every single time has been in the jaw, right in the bottom of the chin. And that's what makes it so special, because that is apparently now a very special spot.
Your love tap spot. Aww.
That's our love tap spot, right in the bottom of the chin. It always goes right there for fucking some reason. But
there's so many things I can make jokes of, but I shall refrain. Even though we cuss a lot, I still know that there are some
we
individuals.
Have limits.
Yeah, we do have limits. But
especially because the last story is like I can't even refrain a little bit, and it's going to be bad. So,
all right. So, is this like a young listener warning?
Yes, but I'm not there yet, so it's fine. It's your turn.
Young listeners. Parents, guardians, or otherwise, if the adult language has not yet disturbed you and or your children, you may want to take them and take the children to the other side of the room or somewhere else when Justin comes on. But I'm going to take a quick drink because that was the end of your story, and then I'm going to tell a story about a taekwondo, depending if you want to be correct, instructor that I knew. Hold on. Let me take a drink here.
You got it.
All right. So I'm going to do my best to make this as general as possible, because the individual will very quickly know who he is if he listens to this. However, due to a falling out, I don't know that he will listen to this, but whatever. I was visiting a taekwondo school. The instructor, the owner, found out that I was close in proximity to him and invited me out to his school. And he invited me out to a belt testing. Part of it, I think, was because he just, wanted to give me a feel of his school and whatever. When he found out, he really didn't, when he invited me out beforehand, he didn't know me from anybody else. But then when he found out who I was, you could tell his demeanor really changed, and he kind of seemed nervous and that he wanted to put on a performance. I don't know, either to, validate himself or just to impress me or what. But so I go to this black belt testing just as an observer. I get there and he's like, "Sensei, I know that I asked you out to come watch, but an instructor is not able to sit on the grading board. Can you sit on the grading board?" And I'm like, "Sir, you do know that I only did taekwondo way back in my youth. I'm not a person." He's like, "But because of your rank and, who you are and your status in that, your feedback is definitely valuable. Please, if you could, please sit on the judging board or the grading board." I'm like, "Sir, I appreciate the offer. Because you're in this position, I will do that. Please understand that, my views may be different than what you're expecting. He's like, I completely understand. Please and thank you. So I'm sitting up on this board with 4 other martial artists. They, of course, are high-ranking Taekwondo individuals. I'm not a Taekwondo person. Again, I did that in my youth, but I never, was never awarded black belt or anything like that. So, while I am a karate black belt, but it is what it is.
Question mark.
I mean, it's. I can respect this, and I have sat on other judging boards or examination boards for other styles that I'm not a part of, but the board is made up of other martial artists of different styles in that. And, so that made sense, but it's like this last minute kind of deal. I didn't want, if anything that I said, I didn't want to have any ill effect on this person. And because martial art exams tend to happen in front of people, in front of their loved ones, their friends, their family, blah, 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 blah. And so I didn't want to be if for any reason I was the one who caused this individual not to get his belt, I didn't want to be that person and, whatever. So anyway, okay, cool. And you could tell this instructor, and this instructor is like a 5th degree black belt in, WTF? So World Taekwondo Federation. Anyway, he's acting kind of nervous, and I'm not sure why. It just seemed very whatever. So he's saying all the things that the student needs to do and all this jazz, and the student goes through it and is going well. I mean, the student definitely has earned whatever rank up to this point. And I'm like, yeah, this solid. I mean, I can't find any flaws. And if there are flaws, the other 4 guys should be able to, because it's their style. And it comes to the point where the student needs to start breaking boards. And I'm not entirely familiar with WTF regulations with regards to how to break and what to break in that, but there was some sort of he had to do a punch, he had to do a side kick, he had to do a hook kick, and he had to do some other sort of stuff. Okay, well, come to find out, this quote exam was actually more of just like a performance, because I guess this person has already earned the rank that he was to get, which was a black belt, 1st degree black belt, but he had already earned that rank. So almost regardless of what happened in this quote exam, he was going to get it. I didn't know that. And then that's why I was like, what? But again, the instructor acted very nervous. And okay, so it comes time.
Wait, he was going to get it regardless?
Yeah, because from what I understand, the exam portion where everybody kind of comes in is more of a show, more of a demonstration of look at our school, more specifically look at our student, but look at our school. So that way, if you're not a part of us, you can join us. So it really wasn't an exam, more or less like during practice and regular classes, this person has already demonstrated that he has achieved the black belt level. But this quote exam was more of like a formality and more of a production is like a wrong word, but it's more of like a performance, but they call it an exam. So I didn't know ahead of time. It doesn't matter. The point being is he was about ready to do all these different board breaking things. And so he punches this one board, breaks it. He does this side thrust, breaks it. He does a couple of I don't know what it's called in Taekwondo. It's called a shuto in karate, where it's like essentially like what they call a quote knife hand. He did a knife hand break, and there was like one kick where he had to do a hook kick and break a board. And he goes, I mean, he's flying through these boards and it's just making it look effortless. And I'm looking at these boards like, whoa, I'm okay at board breaking, but man, for first degree black belt, I don't know that I could do these things, so I was even impressed. And he's like, like I said, punching and side kick, thrust kicking and blah, 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 breaking these boards. He goes to do a hook kick. He does a side hook kick. Pow. Board doesn't break. You could hear his heel hit the board, and it's a sound that sounded gross. Like it, I'm not sure what happened, but he said he's okay. And the instructor was like, okay, do it again. He tries it again. Crack. Doesn't break the board. I don't know what made that crack. It was like the bone hitting. I don't know what. It was, again, not quite as gross as that first sound, but it was like, whoa. And he tries it again for the third time. Nope, doesn't break it. And the instructor kind of puts his hand on his shoulders, talking to him. And at this point, the student, you could just tell, like, the student has completely dropped and just like, I'm not getting my belt. Kind of like the I failed. And instructor puts his hand on his shoulder and he's like, look, I know you've done a great job. And, of course, the instructor is saying it kind of loud enough so everybody in the audience could hear. And, this student had quite a bit of family there. It's like, look, there's times in life, basically given this whole life thing about how times in life we can give it our all and it still might not work. It doesn't mean that we haven't succeeded in life, blah, 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 blah. But the instructor's like, let me give you a few more points, a few more tips. And so the student kind of stands upright and the instructor stands up and he's pointing, gesturing to the board, giving some instructions, and the instructor's kind of miming what should be done and like the points to look for, blah, 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 whatever. And then the instructor's like, let me show you how it's done. And he requested for another board, because ideally he's going to kick it. So the student holding the board puts the one down, runs off, gets another board of equal size. And I'm telling you, they were probably like an inch and a half to almost 2 inches. It was ridiculously large. But then again, I'm not taekwondo. So maybe almost 2 inch is what is normally done. I don't know. Anyway, so the instructor stands there, looks at the board, judges it, looks over at the student, gives a last few minute words, then looks back at the board, hands ready. He starts his spin. He spins around and he hook kicks the student that was holding the board square in the head and knocks her out. Yeah. Knocks her out. And the whole audience, people that came there to watch the one student graduate or whatever, or get promoted, gasps. The look of fear on that instructor was priceless. And he didn't do it, but I swear to goodness, he probably wanted to pee just like my kindergarten student did that I told the first story. Knocked that student clean out. And that, my friend, is one of the funniest moments in martial arts experience that I've had with a Taekwondo instructor. And I'm going to take my drink.
I'll take mine too. All right, hold on 1 second. God, you do all that hard work and then knock out your uke. Awesome.
Knocked her out. That was great. But yeah, so in case anybody was wondering, the student did receive his black belt. The person holding the board was revived, and it was pretty much a soup sandwich after that point anyway, which was great. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to experience that.
Part of me is like, yeah, he did great. And then the other part is me like, hey, bro, I don't know if he should have gotten a black belt. He punched out or kicked out his partner. But hey, that would be another thing.
The student didn't do it. It was the instructor who did it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he was trying to show him how to do it.
The instructor was trying to show the student who was going for the black belt. The instructor did the hook kick solidly connected with the side of her head, probably temple area, but side of the head, knocked her out.
You must have dropped out when you said that portion.
Maybe.
That is amazing.
And I will drink just because I do think that is funny.
What? I'm not going to say anything, man. All right. This last one for me is my special How I Met My Wife story. And I'm going to say it as politically correct as possible. I don't want to get gross or anything.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And at the time, I didn't even notice what was happening until like later in life she mentioned it. The best part was I met her in college. We were doing the martial arts club. She finally joined it. I wasn't even supposed to be there that day teaching. It was supposed to be someone else. I was actually sick. Well, I'm not very good at staying put sometimes.
Weird.
So I'm like, you know what?
That doesn't sound like you at all.
Anyway, I know, right? So I'm like, I'm going to go to class today. And it's not that I need to teach. I can just, whoever's teaching, whatever, I'll join it on. And right when I walk in, it was like a movie, dude. She was like instantly the one I see. We connect eyes. You hear like Dream Weaver, playing in the background and stuff. And, it was like, and she told me later, she's like, she saw my face was still like, not like, I was sickly. And she was like, you know what, my goal is to make that guy laugh today because he looks like he's having
Speaking of laughing, I've been drinking. I need a drink. I'm sorry. Keep talking.
Oh, I stopped tallying. I can't do math.
All right, keep going.
But we do a class. We're partners every once in a while. We're hanging out. I'm just kind of keeping my distance because I'm not interested. I'm sick as hell. And she asked me, something comes up that, she used to do a little bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's a couple other people that did a little BJJ. And I'm like, well, I do a little bit of groundwork. It's not technically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but, I'm pretty decent at grappling. And she suggested we spar.
Okay.
Judo automatically kicks into my head. So like as soon as somebody says go, I like toss her over my shoulder and I put her in a well-known judo pin where it's basically like you put your chest, so you face in the opposite directions. So like my head's facing her feet, her head's facing my feet. I'm on top of her.
North-south position.
I basically yep. And you basically use your body weight and kind of like basically fetal position on top of her. And, your body weight keeps those shoulders bent. Well, it wasn't until later in life where she brought that story up again for whatever reason. And she later tells me, that was cool and all, we were sparring. I didn't think much of it. But did you know that during that entire time, your groin was basically almost in my face? And I'm like,
I'm drinking.
I'm like, because I could go my whole life without, like when you're doing martial arts, you don't think about those things.
Right.
It's not supposed to be like that. But I found it hilarious because I'm just like, when I look back on it and I'm thinking, well, when I do that move to people, how many else have this issue?
Right. Yeah.
And or when I was being taught, has it been done to me?
Shit, I got a drink.
So anyway, just funny story how we met. We met during martial arts. Martial arts connected us.
You met during the North-South experience. Got it. Well, I mean.
All right, let's not go there, but.
Yeah, hey. All right. I unfortunately.
All right,
I think.
I'm out of beer.
I think that you have unfortunately one-upped my last story. It's not nearly as cool or as funny, but whatever. I guess I will, go ahead and say it now. But anyway.
No, you got to make up for this embarrassment.
Oh, dude, this one is totally embarrassing to me. So I was instructing a student in like a whole class in stick fighting, and the student that was my uke or the receiver, had been with me for a really long time, knows exactly what I'm teaching and what I'm about to teach and all this kind of jazz. And when I selected him, I selected him because he knows everything that we're going through and all that, you know. And so he's standing up there with me and I'm talking about different positions and I'm taking my stick and I'm kind of showing with my arms and demonstrating potential striking areas, this, that, and the other within the technique that we were working on. And I made a comment, excuse me. Sorry about that. I made a comment saying,
no worries.
All right, so I'm going to do the technique and I want you to show how we defend against this. And, you know, I was talking to the student who was my uke, and I thought that he would understand what I meant because he has been in my classes and saw how I taught and everything. But what happened was I was going slow, so that way the people that were observing could watch the actual technique, like not the dynamics per se, but how when I struck in a certain way, how the defense were to be implied and the follow up. Well, apparently I didn't let him know I was going at very slow speed. I wasn't really doing much. So I took my stick in my right hand and I proceeded to do a diagonal strike down, which would be, if you can imagine the individual, it should have struck roughly his left carotid artery. Well, as I'm going slow, and I mean, it's not super slow, but like if I'm going to strike somebody, I don't go this slow. But as I show that, and as my stick comes down, he brings his stick up, deflects my stick. My stick smashes into my nose. My nose instantly starts bleeding.
Oh,
the tip of my stick cuts above my eyebrow, makes me bleed. He follows through with the technique, so sweeps down, brings it up, and smashes my other side of my temple, cutting me there, making me bleed. And so within that, you know, I smack myself in the nose. My nose starts bleeding. I cut myself. My eye starts bleeding. He comes around and cracks me on the other side of my head. My temple starts bleeding, or about my temple starts bleeding. So like within seconds, I'm bleeding. Blood's going down. The entire class is like, what? And I'm dazed because, you know,
obviously,
I came down like slow instructional kind of deal. I don't know what went through his head. I mean, hopefully it was reactionary. He did say it was reactionary. He's like, I'm sorry, I thought you were going full speed and you were going to pull. And I'm like, no, I wasn't going full speed. I wanted to show the angle of attack. But yeah, so he popped the stick up. My stick smashed my face more than once. I got blood all over. Then he goes and cracks me on the other side of my head. Blood's dripping down. But yeah, so that was one of the funniest moments. At the time, I was just like, what? But to this day, I can now laugh at it because it was just ridiculous. And I mean, he did it perfect. Exactly the way it should have been. Now, if someone's attacking you slow like that, there are other things that you could do, probably should do. But for what we were teaching that time, or what I was attempting to teach, yeah, he totally demonstrated how you can mess somebody up. So that was my funniest moment in martial arts history. My martial arts history, at least.
And man, if we ever do a painful one, that's going to have to come back again too.
The thing is, it wasn't that painful. It was more startling. No,
really?
Because it happened like when my snick. Yeah. I've been drinking a lot, apparently, because this game sucks. But no, like the stick came up so quick. I really didn't even feel my nose get hit. But what I did feel the cut above my eyebrow. I felt that, and I was like as soon as I was able to formulate what, because I didn't really. It was just he was quick, and as quick as he should have been. But my stick came down, bounced back into my nose, and then it cut my brow. My brow is what I felt. And then as soon as that registered, I was getting smacked on the other side of my head, on the right side of my head, near my temple. And it was just like, what? I mean, afterwards, it was painful. And because my nose started hurting, both my eyebrow and near my temple, my right side temple started hurting because it was my left eyebrow that got smacked or cut. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't in the moment. It wasn't painful. I felt it on all, well, with the exception of my nose. I felt the cut above my eyebrow and the cut near my temple, but it wasn't painful. I mean, afterwards, yeah, pain set in and it sucked. But when it happened, though, it was over before it really registered. Because, like I said, when it hit my eyebrow and it cut it, I'm like, oh, what? Pow! What is going on? And I hear my class like, oh, I'm like, what? What's going on? So yeah.
Dude, those sticks are no joke. I've been hit with them several occasions, never in the head.
That was fun. It definitely, it's one of my favorite, funniest moments that I've experienced in martial arts because it was just ridiculous. And it really came back down to me being an instructor who didn't follow through with the person that I'm working with to make sure that they knew what I was talking about. I just assumed that they did. And part of me is that they should have known. At the same time, I didn't give that instruction. I didn't tell them what was going on. So by no fault at all. I mean, it was all on my shoulders, which makes it even more funny. But that, my friend, is my last story of this episode.
Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our combined 10 funniest stories in martial arts. And honestly, I would love to hear from you guys' stories. So if you guys can comment us or email us, if you can top our stories, that'd be great. I mean, these are just what was funny to us. If they weren't funny to you, awesome. Please show me up. Tell me some funny stories.
Yeah, definitely.
We all have bad days and we want to get cheered up. So that'd be cool. Man.
Yeah, definitely write in, shoot us a Facebook message, email. Justin, where can they email their stories to?
I believe it's Drunken Fist. Is it pod? Pod?
Well, okay. So an email goes a name at then the domain name, just in case you've never done that before. Oh,
name at.
No. All right. So fans.
I don't know where to send the email.
Fans at drunkenfistpodcast.com. Or I think maybe what Justin was going for was you can also go to our website at drunkenfistpodcast.com. And on there's a contact form that you can also submit your most funniest martial arts thing. Was that
that's the one. That's what I was going for.
I apologize.
That's the one I look at the most. I don't have access to the email.
You do, but anyway, we'll get into that later.
Yeah, that'll be later.
All right. So definitely send us your message or your stories because we need to be cheered up too. Okay. Especially, oh my gosh, I have so much schoolwork to do for this master's degree. I would like to pleasantly be distracted by your messages of your funniest martial arts experience. Show notes. When I get to it, show notes will be up at drunkenfistpodcast.com. Where can they go to subscribe to this podcast, Justin, if they haven't subscribed already?
There's 100 places. You got Spotify, you got iHeartRadio, you got Apple Podcasts through iTunes. You got one of my favorites, Stitcher.
Stitcher's a good one.
I think from what I know of, that's it. But I know
there's way more. You got Podbean. You have what is it? Player.fm. So many other places. But that's it. Hey, Justin, who makes this podcast? Who makes it possible for us?
The fans do.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Where can someone go if they would like to learn more about being a fan of the show to support the show?
Why are you quizzing me after all that drinking game? All right. If you want to support the show, go to...
Because I didn't want to do the ending, even though you did the beginning. So I'm trying to get you to do the ending.
Oh, I don't want to do the ending. I did the beginning. I feel unbalanced. It's supposed to be yin-yang.
All right. Yin-yang. This podcast is made possible by the fans of the show. You can definitely hear the people that we shouted out to in other episodes. But if you would like to learn more about how you can become a fan of the show and support the show, go to drunkenfistpodcast.com/fans.
You spell pod, much, P-O-D.
Oh my gosh. Pod, P-O-D, cast, C-A-S-T. Okay, so yes, pod, P-O-D. Anyway, until we hit the mass again, thanks for drinking with us. Cheers.
Bye.